William Lloyd Garrison publishes The Liberator. I will be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch, and I will be heard. This quote by William Lloyd Garrison shows that he was serious about anti-slavery and human rights. When you commit to something such as 35 years of writing a newspaper on only a few subjects, that shows passion. William Lloyd Garrison had passion, and he wanted to be heard, and he didn't want to delay the truth. He put his beliefs out there and stuck with them. William Lloyd Garrison grew up writing. He published multiple newspapers before The Liberator. The Liberator was his most successful and influential. The Liberator was a newspaper that started on January 1st, 1831. Surprisingly, this newspaper continued for 35 more years. William Lloyd Garrison helped establish The Liberator. Frederick Douglass was a freed slave that stood up against slavery. Isaac Knapp was a printer. He helped publish and also write entries in The Liberator. The main viewers of The Liberator were free African American slaves. 75% of the subscribers were freed from slavery. Nothing particular caused this newspaper to be written. With passion for writing, William wanted to express how he felt about women's rights and slavery. With Frederick Douglass being an escaped slave, both William and Frederick felt very strong about slavery. They both disagree with it, and they were called abolitionists. An abolitionist is someone who is against the practice of slavery. William Lloyd Garrison thought this should be a worldwide cause. With help from multiple people, he planned to spread the word about anti-slavery. He sold many issues, but nothing caused this besides his major belief of anti-slavery. Garrison sold most of the copies of The Liberator to African American freed slaves. Most of the subjects Garrison wrote about in his newspaper was anti-slavery and women's rights. He published these newspapers in Boston, Massachusetts. William wanted to change what people thought about slavery. He wanted to pass the Emancipation Proclamation. Many different people learned about what slavery was really like. This newspaper persuaded people to take sides on the anti-slavery side. The Liberator convinced and persuaded people who are pro-slavery to be anti-slavery. Although this wasn't a huge number, every bit made the difference. With William's good details, he persuaded people to take a different perspective on slavery. This event caused change in many ways. First, it led to the Emancipation Proclamation getting approved. This meant no more slavery. The Emancipation Proclamation got passed towards the end of William Lloyd Garrison's newspaper writing, but he still proved that slavery should be illegal. Secondly, it changed people's minds about women's rights. William wrote about how women should have rights, and he was so persuasive it actually came to be. Women got more rights by William promoting editions, convention calls, speeches, and editorials. Lastly, he changed the way people thought. He made people think differently from other people's perspective. This is why William Lloyd Garrison was so important.